Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. I'm a day late and $1 short with this, but places aren't open on Christmas. And if I had gotten my paycheck money when I was supposed to, I'd be able to get it, but I wouldn't have enough money as I did because I wouldn't have my Christmas money. So it's a double-edged sword there. So I had to wait till today, the day after Christmas, to get this and review this. The first one, I bought like 5 movies from this year to finish off, so I have more to add to my rankings if they're good enough to be on my rankings, because I have some that are good, some that are bad. You know what I do? I do the top 10 best, top 10 worst, and then I rank all the horror from this year. That's what I've been doing the last few years since the COVID hit, but yeah. So Terrifier 3, a Christmas movie. Yes, and if I had had a chance to see this earlier, well, I wouldn't have owned it till today, so I wouldn't have been able to. So I wouldn't have been able to actually put it on the list. But next year, if I do the 25 on 25 again next year, which I'm hoping to add more movies to, this will be on it. So we need to follow the development of this movie. It was announced it's going to be a Terrifier 3, and then they put a little short up, a little teaser, and they said this was going to be a Christmas movie. All right, I'll bite. Then they started announcing different castings. Daniel Roebuck, Tom Savini, Clint Howard, Jason Patrick was going to show up to play Sienna and Jonathan's father. So I thought, this would be the perfect time to reveal he's still alive, right? He's still alive, and he faked his death to protect his family. But after seeing his wife murdered, he comes out of hiding to help them take Art down in the final showdown. Movie came out, and then Terrifier 4 was announced, and I went, they probably didn't make this the final showdown then. They probably should have, though, because like the kills, you don't want, like the kills that they do in these movies, you don't want to drag them out too long, and that's And I feel that people are gonna the people are high on this series now. But if they keep making more and keep deciding that they're going to try to top kills after kills in each movie after each movie, people are gonna get sick of it, both figuratively and literally. They're gonna have enough and be like, no, stop. Just, you don't have to keep trying to one up yourself. And they do that in here. They try to do that in here. While the signature kill in this movie is vicious, I don't know. There's still something about the friend kill in the second one with the salt and the bleach and everything, ripping the arm off, and I don't know. This one is vicious, don't get me wrong. We'll talk about it, but yeah. My main issues with this movie, and there are 2 big issues I have with this movie. 1, much like the second one, there are scenes that feel like you could have taken them out and made this shorter. There's a whole opening scene, which is basically the teaser from the first one, only extended because we get to see more kills. And then once this opening scene happens, we cut to the ending of the last one, like picking up right where the last one ended off, and you're like, wait, so how was he able to do that when he's still here? You mean? Because there's some weird time. It's clear this scene was supposed to come later in the film, but David Leone, or Leone, how you pronounce it, decided he wanted this to be the opener to the film, but it doesn't make any sense to be the opener of the film because there's a 5-year time jump from the point where we pick up from the last film. Some stuff happens, and then there's a 5-year time jump. Now you're thinking, well, that means this movie takes place in the future. Actually, No, if you follow the timeline, the first film takes place in 2016. The second film takes place 1 year later, around the same time that Victoria mauls the talk show host, right? That same time frame. So it's a year later, so it's 2017. So this is 5 years later, that makes it 2022. That's right. So we're still in the past, technically. It's when the time where the second film came out, 2022. So, yeah. But, yeah, so there were also rumored reports of people getting so sickened by the kills in this movie that they threw up. And whenever I hear that, I go, bullshit. And after seeing this movie, bullshit. There's nothing in this. Was waiting for a kill that was going to make people throw up. What is it? Is it the rats? Is it the shower kill? Was it the opening? Is it the explosions in the mall? What is it? Because none of these, for me anyway, were vomit-inducing. I don't get it. I don't get it. Stop trying to overhype your movie by throwing out fake headlines about people getting sick. Stop it. Stop it. Because all you're doing is overhyping it, and there are those that will believe it and be, oh, this is going to be awesome. And then you're just going to get more from before, and it's just going to be like, okay, sure, fine. And then those who won't believe it and will roll their eyes immediately and might check out the film, but might not. I was one of those that rolled my eyes, but still checked the film. The second thing that I have a problem with, it feels like scenes were cut. There are 2 pivotal moments that are cut out of this film, and it's just, I don't know. It feels like they said they didn't want to go over runtime like the last one, and so they just cut a couple scenes. I hear there was pages ripped out of the script, which, yeah, it kind of feels like it. This feels like we are doing little art skits with Sienna storytelling, character development in between those little segments. Because you got the opening, you got opening with the Christmas stuff, you got, how he's put back together, and then you cut to Sienna, and then there's a whole thing with Daniel Roebuck and Clint Howard there's a whole thing. They go back, they kill a couple people, and then there's more Sienna, and then there's the thing with Daniel Roebuck and Clint Howard at a bar, and then there's more Sienna, there's the thing in the mall, there's more Sienna. It just kind of keeps going back and forth. Like, we'll have a little mini art short film, and then we'll go back to Sienna for some character development. And then we'll go back to art, where he's doing something not connected to the plot, and then we'll go back to art, and then we'll go back to Sienna. And then we'll go back to art, doing something not connected to the plot, and then we'll go to Sienna. That's what it feels like. Little segments. It feels like they combined the idea from this first one, which literally was sort of like segments, with not very much character development or plot, and then they said, well, we have to keep doing a plot that we started in the last one, and it just sort of meh. But it feels like they also said, hey, we want to keep this going, so we can't actually have any character development whatsoever. Except for flashbacks. Which, when they started the flashbacks, I went, fuck. They're wasting Jason Patrick. My idea was much better than this shit. It's just flashbacks of him. It's basically the same shit we learned in the last one, where she is the chosen one. Got it. Did we need to have that in again? We know that already. Why do we... I don't know. There's really... I don't know. There's really no reason for the flashbacks. They're just telling us stuff we already know. Now that I've put up my basic problems and stuff with the movie, let's kind of go through the movie here, okay? So we start with the Christmas scene, which, again, is out of order. Because, according to the plot, this should take place in the 5 years later timeline after the mall scene, or after the bar scene with Daniel Roebuck and Clint Howard. But they put it here because Damon Leone wanted it to be the opening. Again, there's rumors he was tearing out script pages and changing things, and just so yeah, that's what it feels like. Because we start with this little girl waiting for Santa Claus. Of course, it's Art. He kills a kid off screen, but we do see the aftermath. But it is off screen. I should mention that there is technically no children killed on screen. And before you go up, actually, it's an explosion. You don't see anything. Doesn't really count. It's not really on screen because it's an explosion and you don't really see much. You see guts and stuff afterwards. But I don't really count it as an on-screen kill because it's so quick. Explosions, to me, are not on-screen kills. Because you don't actually see the stuff flying. You see an explosion and then the aftermath. So with me, yeah. Okay. So, he kills the older brother, he kills the dad and the mom, and then he goes downstairs. He is eating Christmas cookies with bloody hands and dipping it in milk. Then I laughed at this. He's washing the dishes. He's washing the dish that was used for the cookie. I laughed at that, and then he finds a little girl, waves at her, and then it comes up Terrifier 3. So I got itch. Okay, nice opening, but again, considering where it's supposed to go, it doesn't really make any sense. And again, if they had actually put it where it belonged, much like the Clown Cafe scene in the last one, you didn't really need this, beginning or otherwise. You teased us with this, so they had to put it in a movie somewhere. And so why not do the opening? We didn't cut back to the ending of the last one, or Victoria and Art, well, Victoria mostly, kills Chris Jericho, escape. They also killed the nurse or whatever. They escape, and they go to his house, and they hide. They hibernate for 5 years. 5 years pass, and these two guys are going to enter the house, and Art wakes up, back together again, and he rips the skin off this guy's skull. Pretty badass looking, by the way. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the other guy is killed too by the headless corpse. I think the other guy's killed too. I don't know. There's just so much killing in this movie. So we catch up with Sienna. She's been in a mental hospital, but not the same one that Victoria was in, a different mental health facility, I guess, for 5 years. Jonathan is now in college, despite the fact that he still looks 12. How old is Jonathan supposed to be in the last one? How is he in college? 5 years have passed. So, are you saying if he's a freshman in college, you are telling me that'd be 18 years old? You tell me he was 13 when the first film happened? And they used the same actor and he hasn't aged. And it's only been 3 years, so the actor is probably in his 20s, but I don't know. I get they had to do the time jump. They had to... I don't know. I just don't know. I can't see him being any older than 18, so... Yeah, I also meet his roommate Cole and his roommate's girlfriend Mia, who does one of those murder podcast things. What are they called? Such a killer podcast with it. What is that called? Like real life murder podcast or something? I don't remember. But like, yeah. And she kind of wants to have Sienna on to talk. That doesn't go well, you know. And Sienna is now... So one of my big problems with this movie is that the last movie painted her as this badass. But we don't really get any of that until the last act. And by last act, I mean like the last 15 minutes. It's really just dealing with her mental stability, her mental problems, and issues that she has for most of the film. And she keeps having these dreams of her dad, which, yeah. Art arrives at a bar where we see Daniel Roebuck dressed as Santa Claus, and Clint Howard is also there. I don't know if he has a character's name. He's Clint Howard. Looks like Clint Howard. He has poofy white hair and a beard. All I can think of is this character, Ricky from Silent Night 4. No fucking cheese. I don't know why that popped up. I usually think of Ice Cream Man. It's grenadine for my ice cream treats. But yeah, Art is there. He's so happy to see Santa, and he's putting on a beard. He's like, yep, that's how you know it's real Santa Claus. It's got a real beard. So you grew your beard out. Good for you. And then Art kills them all. I love when he drinks the alcohol and he spits it in Santa's face. They get all pissed. So he kills them all. And he gets the Santa suit. And this, presumably around this point, is where that opening scene would have gone. Sienna meets with Jonathan and tells... Well, I should mention that Sienna is picked up by her uncle, Greg, who is in The Skulls 3. Remember that movie? Yeah, it sucks. He was like the... I think he was the guy that was against her or something. I don't know. He was the Paul Walker lookalike that they got for that movie. That's the only reason why he was in that movie to begin with. But, yeah. And so she's going to live with her aunt and uncle. It's her mom's sister and her husband and their daughter, Gabby. And immediately you're thinking, well, something's going to happen to that kid, right? Sort of. Yeah, something does happen, but you never saw this coming. Let me tell you. What happens to her you didn't see coming. Mm-mm. So, Sienna meets with Jonathan and says that she thinks that Art is still alive. He does not. But then there's like a letter about something. I don't know. She says she needs to go back to the Terrifier to get her sword. And we never see that scene. We see her coming back with a present and putting it underneath the tree, which we later find out is her sword, so she must have gone there to get it. Even Gabby points out dirt on her clothes. She goes, I fell down in front of some college kids. I'm like, I don't remember that. And it's like, but she had the... I didn't catch the sword thing until I watched someone else's review and they're talking about it. I'm like, oh, okay, I missed that. Wait. There wasn't a scene? No, that scene was cut out. Why? I could have been out the script or something. I don't know. That's the first scene that was cut out. There'll be more. So Jonathan doesn't believe her. And then Cole shows up, right, with his girlfriend. The girlfriend asks Sienna to be on the podcast. She freaks out on her and leaves. And, Jonathan says that he can't do anything because he's going to a party. So, good for him. I think he's lying, though, because he takes some pills and then kind of passes out. And then Art shows up. And this was kind of funny, I'll admit. He shows up, and they're talking about him. And she says, the clown, and he's like, excuse me? That's my name. You say my name? And then he's like, you're so obsessed with him. What do you want to fuck him? And she's like, I don't want to fuck him. And he's like, he's like, and then she says, you got to persuade him to get her to come on the podcast. And so dude sounds like he's going to jizz in his pants. He's like, huh? I'm like, dude, if you're making sounds like that when she's just dry humping you, you got a problem. But apparently it goes further than that. And here we get to I'll get to the signature kill here. The shower scene. Oh boy. So they're going at it in the shower. By the way, this actress most likely said, hey, I'll do nude scenes, but I won't show nudity. Because they are so close up having sex. The only time you see tits or anything else is prosthetic before the kill happens. So this actress said she would do a nude scene but not show nudity, because the whole time they're doing this sex, they are like right up against each other. You see like cleavage stuff. You don't see anything. Again, no problem with that. You don't want to do it. That's fine. But they're very close up. And then even when they show where you think they would show her, she's standing there, it only shows from above. I'm like, okay, there was clearly some kind of clause in her contract that said she can't be shown nudity. because it's not till he shows up with the with chainsaw, chops off her arm, his arm, and he slices her tits, slices her vag. Both are just effect shots, and then he like slices her head open and stuff, and then he shoves the chainsaw up dude's ass, and then chainsaws his nuts and dick off. Much like where he stabbed the boyfriend in the second one in Dick and Balls. Yeah, chainsaw. Was this where people would throw up? Because, maybe I'm just numb to graphic violence in these movies. I was just like, when he shoved it with that, I went, ooh. And when he started to go over to Dick and Balls, I went, oh, ooh, no. But that was about it. My same response to the last one. Do you actually see the prosthetics this time? So, good for them. Yeah. I forgot to mention the explosion, because there's a scene when Sienna goes to the mall with Gabby earlier on, where Art is there playing Santa. She leaves, but he's playing Santa. Like, hey, that's not Santa. He's giving out gifts. He's not Santa. And the kid unwraps the gift, and it explodes. Yeah, he's giving out bombs. Now, I can accept him going in there with the gun and shooting people, sure. But bombs, I don't know. They even call it a terrorist attack. Art is not a terrorist. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know about that scene. But anyway, and it's reported on the screen. They have Tom Savini in a cameo. He doesn't die, which is interesting. He does in other movies, so watch those. Like Maniac, he does in that one. But anyway, so that. So then Sienna calls Jonathan and says, I know you're supposed to come over in a couple of days, but I need you to come over now. And he's like, okay. And she's like, what? She's like, you have to come now. There's something wrong. Or not Sienna. Sienna tells Greg, her uncle, to do it. And he's like, just come over. I'll come and get you. Fine. And there's another scene cut, because we cut to Greg showing up. At one point, it cuts to Greg showing up. He calls Jonathan, and it's obviously not Jonathan, because the little girl from the last one doesn't show up at all, and I think that's because she aged within the 2 years between movies, so they couldn't use her, so they had Victoria be possessed in this one, and she's clearly using Jonathan's voice. Yeah. When did they get a hold of Jonathan? This scene was cut. This ain't the last one either. So, Sienna has another dream about... I should mention there's a scene, at a dinner scene, that you could just take out. It's supposed to show her mental problems. She sees her dead friend Brooke from the last one. The girl whose boyfriend got his nuts cut up. Castrated, I think is the word. Like, why? I don't get it. They also at times have the Clown Cafe song playing. She even has, like, in her journal that she had a dream about the Clown Cafe, and I'm just like, why did we bring that up? That was such an unnecessary scene in the last one. We gotta keep bringing it up, I guess. Yes, it's a fun little scene, but it's overall unnecessary to that film. So she has a dream with her dad. Her dad has drawn, because we're talking about needing a female hero to take on Power Man, and he's drawn basically her when she grows up, but he won't give her the picture. And then she wakes up and she overhears her aunt and uncle supposedly talking about sending her back to the mental health clinic or smothering her in her sleep. And that's when I went, okay, it's not them. No, it's Victoria doing both voices somehow. And she gets knocked out. She wakes up strapped to a chair along with her aunt, both strapped to chairs. And, yeah. I do like that there's actually talking in this scene, because Art would just go around killing people, where you have Victoria actually monologues a little bit, talking about stuff. And, yeah. So, they're asking where Gabby is. The mom asks where Gabby is. The aunt asks where Gabby is, of course. And they say that this skull, the skin of the skull, is her. And I went, wait, off screen? Little did I know it was going to be worse than that. Because this little skull would make no sense whatsoever when we get to it. But they kill the aunt by shoving a tube down her throat and then shoving rats inside and then slitting her throat and the rats come out. Was this where everyone threw up? Because I was like, eh. But, I'm still trying to pinpoint the scene where people threw up at, because none of this gets me like that. This might have been it, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. They then reveal that the skull is not Gabby. Gabby's still alive, she's fine. But they imply it's Jonathan's skull. Also, the uncle is dead. And they use his head for a tree topper. And again, I'm going, the scene was cut. Nah. When did this happen? Damien Leone. If you cut scenes from your movie, cut ones that don't matter. Like the stuff at the mall. The scene with the family. Cut those. Because at the end of the day, you cut 2 to 3 vital scenes from this movie and left 2 scenes that really could have been left on the cutting room floor. Because as awesome as those kills at the beginning was, much like the Clown Cafe scene from the last one, they're unnecessary. And do we really need to see kids blown up in the mall? No, we do not. I get that if you take out those and the Clint Howard scene stuff, where's the Christmas? But keep the Clint Howard and Danny Roebuck scene and just have him killing in a Santa suit. You know? Because after the mall stuff, he's out of the Santa suit. So just have him killing in a Santa suit in this entire movie. You know? Have him kill the Santa, Danny Roebuck, take the suit, and then he kills the roommates. You can do everything while wearing the suit. But there are scenes taken out of this that we needed to be in there. You know? I didn't look if there was any... Does it say there's deleted scenes on the Blu-ray? Yes. Walmart actually had a Blu-ray. They actually went all out for this one. I mean, they did for the last one, but they were out at that point. Making of Terrifier 3. Here's a sneak peek. Upcoming documentary. Art Attack. Eulogy Log. Bloody Stills Collection. No deleted scenes. Really? Maybe it's because those scenes don't exist. Maybe it's because they ripped the scenes out of the script and didn't shoot them. But why? Why would you do that? There are important scenes. Jonathan was a major character in the last one. He's killed off screen. Hopefully, it's revealed in the 4th film that is coming. Getting to this movie is so disappointing. Because it's just... This is not the ending of a trilogy. This is just another sequel. Hopefully it'll reveal in the next one that they were lying and they just had Jonathan's glasses or something. I don't know, maybe we'll pick up from the last one and she'll hear a noise and Jonathan's locked in a closet or something. And that's the roommate's skull. Damien, you hear that? Make that what it is. Do that. Retcon shit. Jonathan does not deserve to die, especially off screen. Anyway, then they, the cousin, Gabby, she says she wants to open her present. Of course, we know it's going to be the sword. So she slits Art's throat, decapitates Victoria, and then, there's like a struggle with Art. And then Victoria's blood melts the floor and opens a gate to hell? if you're trying to one up the ending of the last one, you didn't succeed, because nothing's going to one up Art's head being birthed from somewhere. But what? And then the little girl Gabby, she's hanging from there, and Sienna decides to use her sword to help Gabby get up, having Gabby grab onto the handle, and she's holding onto the blade. And I'm going, that's not going to work. It's going to slit your hands, and she's going to fall in. And what do you know? That's what happens. And then it just goes black. Art disappears off screen. And Sienna's sitting there. Her hands regenerate. The scars are gone. Despite the fact that they keep talking about the other scars that she has. These heal. I don't know. Maybe because they were caused by the blade, which went with Gabby, by the way. So Gabby's in hell now, which does connect to something. We'll get to it, but yeah. So then we cut to Art on a bus. He gets on a bus. Driver guy is a lady. The lady is reading a book called The Ninth Circle, which was the original Art the Clown short, where he's delivering souls to the devil. So if that what we're heading towards, the devil showing up in the next one, maybe, I don't know. He's got Gabby. But, yeah, and then it ends with him honking the horn. Credits. As I mentioned in the opening part of this review, there's very little character development. Everything is shown through flashbacks with her dad, a wasted Jason Patrick, and it's stuff that we already knew. She's the chosen one. She's meant to challenge Art. We know that already. You're not telling us anything new. You're just reiterating the last one because you never intended to give us a conclusion, at least not yet. You just wanted this to be another sequel. That's all this is. Another Terrifier sequel. There is little to no character development for anyone. I don't want to repeat myself, but all the Art stuff feels like little segments with little stuff with Sienna. But Sienna, the ass kicker from the last film, is not here until the last act. The last 15 minutes, 10 minutes even. Because she has to wallow in her mental issues. And oh, woe is me. The whole movie. Boring. Boring. What made you think this was the right direction to go with this character? After seeing her be a badass in the last one, we have to have her worrying about her mental health the entire movie until the climax. She doesn't do anything to warn how much of a badass she was in the last one. And yes, a lot of that stuff from the last one was the climax, but it was a bigger climax than this. And it was awesome. This, I don't know, it's disappointing. It's disappointing. It's not a bad movie. It's well done. Please, stop drawing out the kills. By the third film in the franchise, it's just getting stale. You're just sitting there watching people get tortured by this point. You're just watching, like, yeah, just, I don't know. Why does that have to be so drawn out? I'm going to give this a very high, middle of the road. I definitely think the second one was better, even though it was longer. Minus the Clown Cafe stuff, it was better. There's more character development for our characters. This felt like they combined what they were doing in the first one and the second one. And the first one kind of went over it. There are scenes that are missing from this. And probably never even filmed. They're either on a cutting room floor or never filmed. And they should have been in this over some of the segments. Right? I understand you want this to be a Christmas film. But all you need to do, you cut out the Christmas stuff from the beginning. You cut out the mall stuff, and you just have Art. One of the first things is maybe you have Daniel Roebuck stumble into the house. He's drunk. He's dressed as Santa. Art awakens, kills him, takes the Santa suit, and just kills everyone in a Santa costume the whole movie. Boom. Put Clint Howard in there in a cameo. Maybe he goes to the bar. Maybe the bar is close to where they are and it does that. I don't know. I'm just saying. And while the 5-year time jump works to help out Sienna, the actress is 30. So to make her older, that works, you know. But then Jonathan is still not, you know, he's younger. The actor is younger. So, I don't know. He was 13 in the last one, which was 2 years ago. 5-year time jump, he's supposed to be 18. Not really buying it. Overall, like I said, it's a high middle of the road. The second one is definitely better, but it's fine for what if you're looking for more of what the first two films gave you, this has it. But this franchise has never been my cup of tea, I guess I could say. They're not movies I care to rewatch. Up until today, I never had the inkling to buy the first one, but I got the third one, and I actually bought the second one on Blu-ray now, so I ordered the first one on Blu-ray off eBay. So, completionist. It's a habit. So, what are your thoughts on Terrifier 3? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm this guy, and I'll see you in the next one.